Hello and thank you for joining me for another iTWire video with top Australian IT executives. I have with me via Skype Pat Devlin. He's the Managing Director of Ruckus Wireless in Australia and New Zealand. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Always a pleasure.
It's great to have you back. Now, we recently spoke to you about some of the developments with 802.11ac Wave 2. Ruckus was the world's first networking vendor to release Wave 2 technology. How's that been going?
A lot stronger than we predicted, actually. So we knew there would be a big uptake for Wave 2. There always is in this market in particular. Australians love new technology, and we...
Oh, we've got a bit of a pause there. See if we can... if it'll kick back
We're
into...
very quick to jump on board.
Yep.
At the time of release, there were a limited number supported Wave 2.
Yep. Okay, you're back again now. That's all right.
So at the time of release, there were a very limited number of devices that supported Wave 2. Mostly the Samsung range of devices.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't anticipate that our customers would jump onto that Wave 2 bandwagon so quickly. But reality is people are investing for a 3 or 4 or 5 year future. And so it's been a huge take up. So we're very pleased with early adoption in this market. And in fact, globally, we're a bit ahead of the curve. But generally speaking, the company's been pleasantly surprised.
Sure. And I mean, of course, you know, with so many devices, people want their Wi-Fi infrastructure to more easily handle all that traffic, all that endless growing traffic.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So and the promise of high density is what really Wave 2 delivers on. Fewer access points for more devices. It's kind of the way the world's going, right?
Sure.
So your home is a little microcosm of what's happening in the outside world. You think, well, I've got 3, 4 devices just for me. Well, the rest of the world's doing the same thing. So
Sure.
whether it's a hotel, a school, a classroom, or a stadium,
Yep.
people are...
Or even Luna Park. I mean, they can support 10,000 users at once. In fact, they probably need to upgrade to Wave 2 technology because they've had theirs for a while now, haven't they?
That's right. You're giving me my prospect list. That's what they're doing.
Now, of course, one of the big pieces of news today is the launch of the new iPad Pro, not coming till November, but it's been announced to have 802.11ac compatibility. So, you know, as an enterprise device, although it'll be used in many different areas, and with Ruckus, an enterprise based networking company. I mean, what are some of your thoughts there on what this means for the industry?
I expect it'll have huge take-up. It's a market that's been dominated by other players up till now. And personally, I'm excited about it. I'm into the Apple ecosystem. So it's the first handheld device with 2-stream antenna from Apple, and it's MIMO enabled. So we talked about one of the features of 11ac Wave 2 is multi-stream.
Yep.
So that's 2 devices being able to talk at once. Now we've got iPads that are capable of 2 simultaneous conversations on their own, and then multiple iPads talking to the same access point at the same time means that density challenge is on its way to being solved. And if you consider the typical use case for the tablet is in a classroom-enabled environment, we're seeing lots and lots of schools take advantage of that learning environment, and they're the most challenged by high density. A lot of hardware vendors will go to an educational institution and tell them they need a minimum of 1, maybe even 2 access points per classroom. That's expensive. It's expensive to cable, it's expensive to install, and it's expensive to buy. What this announcement brings is that technology is now capable of taking advantage of the high density features that come with Wave 2, which means, you know, you can start, with us, you can continue to have classrooms that are 2 and 3 classrooms supported by a single access point. That's a big windfall for schools that are looking to do upgrades in the next 3 to 4 years to take advantage of that new technology. And
obviously, it would be the same for enterprise as well, wanting to, you know, keep costs low and yet deploy the latest Wi-Fi access point technology.
Yeah, it's a very different. It's a different scenario with the same outcome in an enterprise environment. What we're seeing is this whole Internet of Things concept. Meaning that there's lots and lots of Wi-Fi connected devices popping up, and they're popping up where you'd least expect it. I mean, there are a lot more smartwatches out in the market than there ever were.
Yep.
A lot of those smartwatches are connecting via Wi-Fi.
They are now.
There are an innumerable number of fitness trackers, home automation, and that home automation piece that we all think is kind of out there and futuristic, and maybe you don't, maybe you're already using Wi-Fi lights. That's already pervasive inside the corporate world. So the corporate environment's challenge is you might not see it, but for every person, there are 5 to 6 connected Wi-Fi devices, and they're really struggling with that demand. So high density is really important to them.
And of course, in the whole BYOD era, I mean, it's not just the iPad Pro, that's the new Wave 2 compatible device, but the new iPhone 6S, 6S Plus, and even the Apple TV, which will no doubt find its way into a lot of boardrooms for all the AirPlay mirroring and other capabilities that it offers.
Absolutely. So the new iPhones themselves will be capable of multi-streaming, which means two clients talking at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our hospitality customers, I think hotels, they're very excited about that. Their networks are really struggling. And there's this revolution happening, and everybody's talking about it in terms of what's happening at the back end of the house, which is we took up streaming services in huge numbers in this region. So Netflix, Stan, and all their competitors, we're going nuts on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just came from a talk where Ziggy Switkowski, former CEO of Telstra, was saying he can't believe the volume of stuff that people are consuming.
Sure.
The average household that has a streaming media connection is watching 10 high-definition videos a day. 10 a day. I mean, that's a phenomenal amount of media.
Must be across a few people.
It's a huge amount of data to be streaming to a lot of different devices.
Yeah.
And keeping those streams going simultaneously, very challenging.
And of course, with data caps, it's still quite low compared to, that's mobile broadband data caps compared to wired broadband data. The need to shift to Wi-Fi is going to be more paramount than ever as people try to preserve their wireless data caps from being out and about and use Wi-Fi when they're in the office or at home, or or in branch offices, wherever they might be.
Absolutely. I think streaming media, video is what's driving the change. The average data quota available even on your home internet connection 10 years ago was 12 gig.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's something like 70 gig. The average for a mobile device is still 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Vodafone came out and announced a 15 gig monster plan last week.
15
gig
with 5 gig
half
extra.
a day worth of Netflix.
Yeah, with 5 gig extra, so it's actually a 20 gig plan, which is pretty amazing.
It's a monster plan, but that's 3 days worth of Netflix.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you won't if you're going to use it for Netflix, you won't get much out of it. But for the everyday streaming and usage for everything else, I mean, it's nice to see 20 gig plans having made their appearance, commercially, although there were some other people who came out first, but still Vodafone's pretty big. Now, is there anything else you'd like to say about the new Apple devices or other devices coming? No doubt everyone else will be coming with 802.11 AC Wave 2 as well.
So most vendors have announced, very few are shipping the ability to take advantage. So Ruckus has a huge advantage in that space. Our antenna technology gives us a bigger leap again. So we do some very clever things with our adaptive antenna that sit on top of the standard and actually enhance it significantly. We're going to see a lot of Apple devices in the next couple of months. Apple are a very clever logistics company. The phones are already out there waiting for people to grab them. Mm-hmm. And tablets coming soon. I'll be probably one of the guys in the queue, desperate to get my hands on the first devices. So there's lots happening. It's all being driven by video. Their ecosystem is updating to take advantage of people's appetite to consume video. And we've been saying video is a driver in our industry for about 10 years. And you know what? We've only just hit that inflection point where it really is the biggest driver. And so it's all about video. Watch this space. My prediction as a technologist is Apple will be in the streaming space very soon. And just wait and watch what happens to data quotas then.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we're doing a video right now. So I really thank you for taking the time to do that with us today. So,
thank you very much, Alex. Always a pleasure to be available to chat.
No worries, Pat. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.